Yeah, I'm tapping my foot to that intro. That was great.
Yeah, gotta get us pumped up. Why? Because we got Pierce Berolzheimer in the house, filmmaker. That's right, director, writer in the house. Welcome, brother.
Thanks so much. Yeah, thanks for everybody who's watching.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Who do we got in the heezy here? We got Jake Hall in the house saying hello, Pierce,
What's up,
and the
Jake?
movie dojo army. We got Brian Sanchez, Danny Boy. That's right, that's right, and Calumity is here. That's right. Oh hell yeah! I finally get to see PhatSamuraiGuy live. Good seeing you, brother. That's right. We got everybody here in the house. Pierce, how have you been, my brother? Have you been crazy busy recently?
Yeah, things have been good. It's the movie's now out, so it's been a totally new thing, seeing a movie that I made actually out in the world and trying to figure out how to navigate that.
Yes, yes, yes. Copy that. Well, we appreciate me and the Movie Dojo Army because we're kaiju fans over here, my friend. Like this whole channel, we represent action, martial arts, and horror, but we love our creature features, my friend. So
That's awesome.
we were
Yeah,
like,
thanks for having me
yeah,
on.
we got to get Pierce on here, man. That's right. Oh my goodness, you got another hello there. You got badasses showing up in the chat there.
That's my
Hello.
mom at the bottom. Hi, mom.
Oh, there it is. Yes, I see it now. Hello, Mom. How's it going? I apologize up front for my language.
Yeah, me too.
What's going on, Heather? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What a generous donation from Danny Boy, the badass. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, Danny Boy. Much love from Manchester, England. Thank you so much, my friend. Wow. Ooh, caught me off guard there. Thank you so much, Danny. You rock. So before we jump right into crabs, man, what got you the bug to get into filmmaking, my friend?
I
Inspirations, motivations, all that stuff.
Cool. Yeah, I didn't love school growing up.
Who does?
Right. And so I liked instead of like trying to write papers or anything like that, I really liked doing creative things, and I would try to get out of writing papers. So um I would convince my teachers to let me make movies instead because I thought that was a lot more fun. And my siblings and we would just take the video camera that we had, and the only movie we knew like every word to was Billy Madison. And so we would just recreate Billy Madison with all of us as the actors.
Love it.
And so I just started doing like short stop motion animations.
Oh wow.
Instead of doing papers in school. So I made like a 15-minute version of the Odyssey, and then I did Great Expectations, and I did it in like the South Park style with the little paper cutouts. And then I realized that like there wasn't anything else that really interested me in the same way that filmmaking did.
Right.
So I just kept going, and then it was I did like a bunch of independent studies in college on filmmaking and trying to make like shorts. They're not on YouTube. They're really terrible, but each one was like trying to teach myself how to do something I hadn't done before. So I did like a gore focused one, and then a fancy cinematography focused one. So the stories were kind of whatever, but
Right.
and then I started. I got a job off of Craigslist out of college, and that led to another project, and then that led to another project, and then the producers I was working with were like, "Hey, we know you want to direct something. What do you want to direct?" And we started raising money for this other movie, and then the best piece of advice I ever got was, if you're not totally in love with the movie that you're going out to make, don't make it, because you might get stuck with it as the director for the next 4 years. And Crabs
Right.
took us 8. So I was really glad
Wow.
that I went back to producers and was like, "Hey, I actually really want to make this Crabs movie. Can we do this instead?"
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. No, that's very well said. You know, if you don't have a passion behind the project, it's going to show. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
it's going to show in the end result. You were a producer for these other projects here. Would you like to talk about that?
Oh yeah, Sunbelt Express. So that I started out as I wasn't really even hired by I wasn't paid or anything. I was just like a PA, but not even paid as a PA. I started really early, but I was like, you know, if I can come onto set and work, I'm
Mm.
happy to do it for free. I'll give up my summer and I'll be on set doing whatever you need me to do. But I'd love to be in every meeting. So don't pay me, but let me observe everything.
So you
And they
were a
did.
sponge.
Yeah. So the director and the producer, Noah Lang and Evan Buxbaum, said, "Sure, come on board." And uh, after like the first 10 days on set, they're like, "Hey, you're producing, so we got to give you a producing credit." And so I got a producing credit on that, and then they hired me on another movie right afterwards. But it was really, Diverged. So that was the second one that I did. I was we had like 3 different units for that film, and so I was producing the upstate New York unit. Um, and that was the first one where I had a lot more sort of flexibility to take charge. And then it was after Diverge
Okay.
that we went into making Crabs. But it was great. I mean, learning on the fly like that was just awesome because I got to see, and especially on Sunbelt, I was working. I was driving around the actors, and then I was getting to be behind the scenes with the
Okay.
director and producers. And so I was getting to see like the issues that the actors were having on set, with then getting to see like what was going on with the directors and the producers. So I was able to, because I wasn't hired by anybody, I didn't really have any motivation on either side of the, whether it's what the actors want or what the director wants. I was able to like solve some problems that they otherwise weren't able to solve, which I think really helped me get a producer credit on the film.
All right. All right. All right. Nice. Nice. A quick question. We're
Yeah,
gonna jump the gun. We're jump the gun here for you, Pierce. Calumny
cool.
says, "Where can I watch Crabs?"
Oh, sweet. It is on iTunes, Apple TV, which is also kind of iTunes, Google Play, Amazon Prime, and then we have a Blu-ray available on Amazon too. Oh, it's also on Vudu too, as well. I think
Yes.
you can also get it on YouTube, but YouTube might also be Google Play, so it's uh it's all over the place. It's not
Right. Right.
streaming anywhere, so it's not on any SVOD or AVOD services yet, but we're only doing like video sales and rentals.
Copy that. Copy that. And thanks to Raven Banner. That's right. The banner of badassity. That's right. Helping to distribute the movie. So shout out to Michael Past and all those badasses over there. But yeah, man, congratulations, Pierce, for all the positive feedback and
Thank you.
having the official selections at all these festivals. I think everyone was excited to premiere your movie. So Crabs, it's Crabs, Crabs. That song is stuck in my head now, by the way.
It's on
But
Spotify too. The whole soundtrack's on Spotify. So if you want to listen to
really,
the end credits song,
I have a question about the Blu-ray release specialist CD that Raven Banner's selling, but we'll get
Mhm.
to that a little bit later. So this is a passion project from you. So did you always have a love for the old school classic B movie or the creature features or kaiju films? Was that always something you wanted to do? Did you always have a love
Oh
for that
yeah,
genre? Oh,
yeah. Like
let's
growing
talk
up,
then.
those were always my favorite movies. Like one of my favorite movies of all time is Eight Legged Freaks, and
Yes.
I love that movie. That movie doesn't get enough love.
Dude,
It's so
seriously,
good.
it's underrated, man.
I
Yeah,
agree.
we saw that
I
in theater. We were busting up.
I got to see
Oh
that at
my
the
god,
drive-in, which was just it was so
that's
cool.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
so
perfect.
I love that, you know, horror movies when I was growing up, I always felt like were really fun.
Yeah.
Like there's just this, especially creature features, there's like Tremors, Starship Troopers, like there's just a
Yes.
fun element to it.
Classics.
And as I got older, I a lot of the movies started taking themselves really seriously. And I was like, "Well, what happened to that vibe?" Right? Like
Right.
the
The
fun
fun.
vibe. And so I
Yeah.
knew that's what I wanted to try to capture with Crabs, was like the fun vibe that I grew up with in creature features and kaiju movies too. Like I loved the guys in suits, like Power Rangers, Ultraman, the guy, all the old
Yes.
Godzilla films, like
You
Destroy
just
All
said
Monsters.
Ultraman. You just said Ultraman. We're brothers now.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. I miss Shin Ultraman in theaters. Shin
Me
Godzilla is
too.
like one my top 5 movies of all time. I think
Nice,
it's
nice.
brilliant, and I can't wait to see Shin Ultraman. But it's only in theaters yesterday and today, and I missed it. But
Oh,
it should be out soon enough. I'm
yeah,
very
it's
stoked for
that's
that.
gonna be a blind buy. Like as soon
Oh,
as
me
that
too.
comes out on Blu-ray, I'm just gonna go ahead and buy it. I got my own Ultraman little section over here. Got represent, son.
That's awesome.
Uh, but yeah, that is awesome. Any favorite Gamera or Godzilla movies that stick out to you besides Shin?
Destroy All Monsters, I think is my favorite.
Nice,
Like, I love the
nice.
original too.
Oh yeah.
It's just like knowing that there wasn't like that hadn't been done before, that story about it captures such an interesting time, and like looking at like I've been to Japan a whole bunch of times. My grandfather lives there, and
Oh wow.
so I got to see, and we did a bunch of traveling when I was a kid to look at like the historical sites of World War II. And so watching Godzilla in that context is really interesting. And then
Yeah.
seeing the Japanese culture today and how much that one movie was a cultural sort of point in time, and then getting to watch it and like seeing all the effects of that movie over the years it's been really cool to see that too.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Jake said he saw Shin and he really enjoyed it. So we're
Good.
jealous, Jake. We're jealous.
I am jealous.
We're right behind you. We're right behind you. In terms of watching it. But yeah, I'm so happy you're a fan of the genre. And like my buddy from Entertainment Talk Nation, Rob, big shout out to Rob. His channel is all about the kaiju. That's his whole channel.
Oh,
And
cool.
he mentions several times that this is probably the most popular the kaiju genre has been as a whole. You have that film. I mean, from all over the world,
Oh,
everyone's
yeah.
making their own kaiju movie. There's the Troll that that you can watch on Netflix, right? And then you have Thailand's making their own kaiju monster
Mhm.
movie, and this is like then you have the legendary, you know,
The
pictures,
Monsterverse or whatever they're
yeah,
calling it, yeah.
MonsterVerse, and then Godzilla's going back to Japan, and they're going to be making more Godzilla movies over there. So now is the time, really, to really celebrate. And Crabs is perfect timing, Pierce.
I agree.
Crabs is out, man. Crabs is
It
out.
was not
But yeah,
timed intentionally this way because we
I
shot the movie 8
know.
years ago, but I'm glad it's
Yeah,
working out.
yeah. But I love the kaiju creature feature B movie vibe poster. Definitely is a throwback to the old classic versions, posters like Them and the Blob and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I love it. But I actually really enjoy the foreign poster, man.
Me too. I love that
Dude,
one.
this is dope. This
Isn't
is
that
great.
awesome? I am
It is
so
like perfect.
Japan is going all out for the release of this movie, and I've been on Twitter. It's called Killer Kabutogami in Japanese, like Killer Horseshoe Crab. And on
Okay.
Twitter, it's amazing. I mean, it's going to go to 40 theaters around Japan. They're doing like a road show. It's coming out on January 20th in Japan, and they have like full banners that they're putting in movie theaters and like the marquee. And they have
No way.
it's super cool. People are putting pictures up. There's like advertising in public restrooms on the mirrors of a horseshoe crab that has our logo and everything like that. So they're promoting it like it's a big movie, which is really cool to see. Like I'm so influenced by Japanese culture and Japanese movies and kaiju that like getting accepted by
Yeah.
the Japanese audience is just that's like it's the coolest thing ever to get to see how much effort they're putting into the promotion of the movie. It's really
That
cool.
is amazing. I did not know that. Well, congratulations, man. It's
Yeah,
well
thank you.
deserved. Well deserved. And definitely watching the film, not just I didn't just see the love for the kaiju genre, but I definitely got Critters and
Oh yeah.
Ghoulies and, and Gremlins vibes,
Yep.
which we'll talk about. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But before we jump right into Crabs, first before I forget, this movie, guys, has one of Samurai Guy's favorite movie titles transitions in this film. It is hilarious. I can't show it. I can't show it,
Nope.
but it's hilarious. And I was like, okay, I'm on board. I was on board right away when I was watching the movie with that
Nice. That's awesome.
that title sequence was hilarious. But I do have a little bootleg snippet to show you badasses watching, so you can see the comedic tone that the movie is going for and nails. So let's check out this little clip from Crabs.
Babe, you better put that down.
Hon? Are you okay?
Oh, me and my wife were busting up, man. We were
Oh, that's
busting
awesome.
up. There you go, guys. That's the type of humor. It's perfect. It's perfect. It's hilarious. Love it. But yeah, man, in terms of effects, um, was there animatronics involved? There's a little bit of I know a little bit of remote control for the crabs
Mhm.
when they go by, and also puppetry, it kind of looks like, right?
Oh, yeah.
Mostly all practical
Yeah,
effects.
we tried to do initially I wanted to do everything practically, but there was a couple things we just couldn't do practically. So, we had puppets, like, a lot of the time, there's a guy at the end of a table or, like, a going like this with a puppet.
Right.
We got a couple puppets, and then we had crabs that, we could pump full of blue blood and then crush so that it would explode everywhere. And then we had the remote control ones, and then, like, when she's holding the crab, there's a we did this the wrong way, but she's
Okay.
holding a puppet, and then somebody's standing behind him, behind the camera, and pulls it with a string so it goes flying at the camera. But then we added the animated arms and legs in
Okay.
post and
In
just tracked
post.
it in there to add some because we couldn't get the arms and legs moving like an animatronic. That was just too expensive. That was way
Right.
outside of our budget. So
Yeah.
we did the anytime there's like a very specific animation, that's CGI, but we tried to have the practical effect always be the base for any of the CGI. So like later in the film, there's a scene where there's just a little crab in an alleyway, and we used an entirely CGI model for it. But the way that we did the texture was we took 3D photos of the puppet and then textured
Ah.
the model using the puppet's texture so that it looks as close to the actual puppet as we could get it.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. It's called tricks of the trade. Tricks of the
Yeah.
trade. Whatever,
Tricks of
whatever
the you
works.
make a whole bunch of mistakes and then that's what you get.
Oh man. The location of where you filmed the film. Where is this at?
That is Mendocino. So we filmed in two towns in way Northern California. One of them is Mendocino and the other's Fort Bragg, and they're about 10 minutes away from each other. And so where the final kaiju fight is Mendocino, but most of the town is actually filmed in Fort Bragg. But we made it look like it's all takes place in Mendocino. So according to the movie, it's Mendocino, but
Okay.
most of it's actually Fort Bragg.
Okay. Yeah, there were some great location shots in the film for
Yeah,
sure.
we lucked out. It's where my grandmother lived, and so I wrote the movie specifically for the location.
Nice. Perfect. Perfect. I love this little foreshadowing scene here. You got
Oh, yeah.
the kaiju video game there on the Game Boy there. That was
Yeah,
fun.
we
That was a
lucked
lot of
out
fun.
that the little, pixel creatures were
Yeah.
actually based on, we had a storyboard artist that storyboarded the whole most of the movie, and, uh, the designs there are a little bit different than, like, the final designs for the monsters, but
Yeah.
those were the original designs that I had in my mind for what the final kaiju fight would look like, and then we had to adapt them so that it would actually work with somebody in a suit. But before we
Right.
had done that, our storyboard artist took his concepts and sent it to his buddy who does pixel art, and he made it for us, and then we animated it. And
No way. That is
yeah, so those
awesome.
if you have the Blu-ray, there's like storyboard animatics, and you can see the original monster designs for the final
All
fight.
right. That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. But yeah, the over the top humor is what Samurai Guy loves. Especially when you have scenes like, we have our we have our young brother super genius, testing out the technology. And he almost murders the sheriff, but it's all
Yep.
right. It's all right. It's fun. Even the sheriff is like laughing about it. He's like, "What are you kids doing in there while I'm outside? I'm outside, smoking my weed and making songs about it."
Yep.
Uh, what do you say? That's a hit. That's a
That's a
hit.
hit. That's right. Yep.
That's a hit.
He wrote that
Vis-
song. The actor just wrote that song. He actually came up to me on set and was like, "Hey, I've got this idea. My character, like, I think he would sing a song because
right.
so Robert Craighead is a country western singer, and so he at lunch one day just went off by himself and wrote that song that he sings about smoking weed, and then
Hilarious.
we filmed it while we were doing a setup for some other shot, and it made it into the movie. But yeah, that was just him making a song up.
Yeah. Oh wow, that's hilarious.
Yep.
Growing it and smoking it too.
Yep.
That is hilarious. But yeah, some of the other visual effects. Who
Oh, I lost you. Hello.
am I back, Pierce? Let me
Oh,
know.
you're back now. Yep.
Okay, okay. That's what happens when you're live, you guys. You don't know what the internet's gonna do. But we got to keep rocking and rolling. Visual effects.
Oh yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
the whale shot was done by a team in Vietnam, which is the whole movie had 380 VFX shots. And so when we started pricing it out, we realized that we couldn't do that in the United States or Canada. It was way too expensive. So we brought
Right.
it
Right.
abroad to do the vast majority of it, and then came back to LA to kind of clean everything up and make it, because there's a lot of different artists working on it in Vietnam. So we needed it to have a level of consistency that our LA artists went through and like cleaned everything up. But that shot's directly out of the Vietnamese team, and they modeled the whale and did all the guts and everything. It was really fun to watch
Nice.
them actually model that. It was cool.
Well, speaking of guts, you guys know Samurai Guy is a gore hound. I love the horror and the gore, man. And there's some great gore shots in here, man. Sorry, everybody watching. Samurai Guy shows it. I take risks. I got to show the love, but yeah. Crabs. Yeah, loved a lot of the gore. It's very appreciated. A film with balls. You can't have a creature feature horror movie without gore, man.
I agree.
I mean, some of them are fun, some of them can be done, but it's rare. You gotta have some fun. Could you imagine like Tremors being like G-rated? It's just not gonna work.
Yeah. Whoop, cut out again.
Let me
you're
know
back.
when I'm back. All right.
You're back.
I was saying a lot of fun characters in the film. I enjoyed the brothers. They had a lot of great chemistry. Everybody had good chemistry, for sure. Am I
Yeah, I
back?
left
Pierce?
out. Our actors were great.
All right.
They did a
All right.
really spectacular job.
Yes, especially the teacher that I think we all wish we had in high
Yep.
school. She was fun as well. Now, I got to talk about Radu.
Oh yeah.
I got to talk about Radu. So, the actor Chase Paget,
Yep.
did he come in and have to audition for this? How did you create the character of Radu?
Okay, so Radu came from a whole bunch of different places, and
Okay.
he's sort of a quilt of different ideas and characters all into what you see. And originally Radu was supposed to be about 14, and I wanted to create a character that was absurd, like the most absurd character I could possibly create, to the point where you think that like in the beginning of the movie, he's the weirdest part of the film.
Right.
By the end of the movie, I wanted him to be the straight man for the audience, commenting on the insanity that all the other characters are engaging in, like building a giant mechanical shark
Yeah.
overnight, and like
Gotcha.
I needed some way to transition the movie from this is the kind of the real world to we're in Cloud Cuckoo Land, and Radu was one of the ways that I wanted to do that. And so Radu was supposed to be 14. And we had a casting agent send us a whole bunch of people. But one of the things that kept happening was that people were doing very specific accents, and I didn't want Radu to be from anywhere. Like in the movie, we never talk about where he's from. We use made up gibberish words for all the science in the movie, but also for all of his like language, whatever language he's speaking. It's as gibberish as the science is. And so I really, and I didn't want him to speak like anybody from anywhere. I wanted him to sound like somebody that, you know, you had no idea where to place him. So a lot of the actors were doing very specific accents, and that wasn't working. So we were running into like a deadline, and we're like, oh, well, I don't know what we're gonna do here. We got to rewrite the character. And then our casting agent was like, well, I've got somebody. He's not what you were asking for, but you should take a look at his audition. And Chase was just Radu. That's what he did. Like what he did on set was what he did on the audition. And we're like, oh my God, he's perfect. So then we, on set, like my least favorite Radu scenes in the movie are when he's using my dialogue, because my dialogue was like stilted and as sort of sing-songy back and forth as I possibly could make it.
Yeah.
But then I just one day heard Chase saying things as Radu offset, and it was so much funnier than anything I had wrote that from that point on, Chase is a professional, so he knew exactly what we needed from the dialogue that was on the page, but then I would let him riff. And so the vast majority of Radu's dialogue is me giving Chase a prompt and him just going with it.
Right.
The funniest scenes in the movie for me are Chase improvising, and that's what he does. He's an improv actor too, so he's exceptionally good at it. And so so
especially
Radu,
with this scene here.
Yep.
With this scene here, oh my God! When he was talking shit to one of the crabs, I think one of the lines that had me busting up was he was like, "You look like my grandma's neck," or something like that.
That's my second favorite scene of the movie is Radu just improvising there. And I was in the edit and I could not decide what takes to use for this scene. So I was just like, well, we're just gonna use all of them.
Fuck it, we just use all of them. Nice.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They're all funny, so why not just have all of them? And we didn't actually use all of them. We used about half, and the other half are on the Blu-ray.
Oh, okay. All right. So you get to see the extras. One of the things I enjoyed about the film, besides Radu's ad-libbing moments, which was hilarious. He had, I wish I could remember a lot of them, but I love how the crabs had voices and they talk shit.
Those were also Chase.
Really?
Chase did all the crab voices too.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, shout out to Chase. Great job. But yeah, man, every time they're on the side, just watching humans and just talking, just
yeah, that's exactly it. Yep.
It's hilarious. It's hilarious, man. I was busting up. Was there a little bit of that in Eight-Legged Freaks? A little. Aha.
There was. That's where I stole it from. Yep. And Gremlins and Critters and all that. But yeah, Eight-Legged Freaks had the little chittering voices.
Oh my God. But yeah, just Karen, I can smell clouds. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I was just some of the things Radu was doing, man. I was rolling, man. Rolling. I mean, who doesn't have a ninja sword? Right?
Right.
I should have grabbed one. I should have grabbed one of mine. I blew it. It's over there.
I wanted to t-shirts that say who doesn't have a ninja sword.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I love the definitely the second stage.
Oh, you cut out again.
All right, let me know when I'm back, Pierce.
Oh, yep, you're back.
All right. Yeah, we had some fun CGI moments, but I love the practical suits, man. I love the second stage that the crabs eventually form. But yeah, when we got to the prom scene, it was one of my favorite scenes in the movie because when the crabs show up, they're like, "Fuck your prom."
Yep.
They're like, "Fuck this tender moment," and everybody dancing. No, we about taking over. We gonna start DJing. All right, gonna start DJing. Have a good time. Not everybody gonna make it. You know what I'm saying? We gonna feast. But yeah, all these fun little moments, man, especially kicking one of the crabs and they go through the basketball hoop. You have the score. I mean, it's just really hilarious. I mean, what else do you want, guys? I mean, we got crab chair shots. You know what I'm saying? We got chair shots. I mean, come on. I mean, it's just great stuff. It's great stuff. But yeah, man, love the suits. And like you said earlier, there's something about guys in suits,
I agree.
And the design for the second stage is great, man.
Thank you.
Who made the designs for the suits?
There was an artist, Randall Kaplan, who had worked with our creature designer, Jim Ojala, and Randall Kaplan did all of the sketches for what the creatures would look like, and that was a really fun part of the making of the movie, was getting to describe and decide like how the suits were going to look. And the original inspiration was, if anybody plays Pokemon, it was Kabuto and Kabutops.
Okay.
But those creatures, like Kabutops is too skinny. You couldn't actually get a guy into a Kabutops suit. So we had to plump it up and add some other things so that it doesn't look exactly like the Pokemon, but also so that a person can actually be inside it, and all of the mechanisms to make him move and make the jaw move and stuff like that could actually be in the suit.
Nice. Yeah, man, I loved it. Really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun, especially when you see these guys walking around. I was like, where's Ultraman? When is Ultraman going to show up and kick these guys' ass? But yeah,
Oh, I lost you again.
Let me know when I'm back.
Yep, you're back.
I thought at first Radu was just going to be like a small little minor character. I was not expecting him to show up later as Ninja Warrior Radu.
I think everybody expects him to die. I mean, that's part of it, is like the other character in these genre movies always dies right away, which is, I don't like that. So I wanted him to be a hero in his own right. Like I really wanted him to. The audience expects him to be one thing in the beginning of the movie, and then I hope by the end he's something completely different.
Yes, well, Ninja Warrior Radu. I think another one of my favorite shots or scenes in the film is when they're driving through the town and they're just seeing the carnage play out, and the crabs are everywhere. The crabs are controlling people. Just really great stuff here, Pierce. Was this tough to shoot all this carnage?
Yeah, that was a long night. We actually, the way we shot it was actually, so we blocked off about a block and a half of downtown Fort Bragg, and then set up one side of the street and shot all one direction, and just shot up and like down one side of the street, and then flipped it and shot the other. But we did all of it in one take. So
no way.
Yeah, so the whole one side of the street was all one take, and the other side of the street was all another take. But the problem with that was that driving down, a block and a half is only about 20 seconds long, maybe 30 seconds long.
Yeah.
So each of those shots was only 30 seconds each, so it's like a minute of footage. But this is supposed to be the town is being destroyed part of the movie, and having it just kind of go by in 30 seconds didn't work in the edit. So we ended up having to cut it up and then intersperse it with what's happening in the car in order to get the scene that's in the movie. But there is a version where it's just literally one take on one side and one take on the other. So then we overly complicated it to the point where we shouldn't have done that. We should have done like individual portions moving up and down the street. Because I was directing it as if we needed each of the beats to happen in sequence. So if one didn't work, we'd have to reset the whole thing and run it again. I'm a big fan of long one takes.
Yeah.
So I was trying to do that here, but in the edit, it just didn't play as well. So we cut it up.
It still worked in the film, though.
Oh, good.
It
Thank you.
definitely worked your scene. Am I still there? Let me know if I'm there.
Yep. Yep. Now you're back.
I don't know if I disappeared again. Okay.
You did for a second, but you're back.
But yeah,
You're back
it's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite scenes in the film. And if you're a fan of one takes, check out Scott Adkins' action movie One Shot. I think you'll enjoy
I've heard
that.
of
Check
that. I
that
haven't
out.
seen it.
Yeah, check that out. That's good stuff. Love the homage here to Jurassic Park, my friend.
Yeah, I
Smarty bitches. That was great. Great.
That's one of my favorite movies of all time. I couldn't not reference it.
It's, I'll never forget. If I made a list, I don't know, maybe Samurai Guy might do a video of this in the future, but if like cinema going movie magic moments, experiences, Jurassic Park is there.
Me too.
Jurassic Park is there. Because I didn't see, because nowadays you have 5 billion trailers for a movie. You have TV spots, all that stuff, right? And some of the stuff gets, spoiled and ruined, right? But for some reason, when Jurassic Park came out, I barely saw anything on TV. I didn't even know, like, there was that one quick shot of a T-Rex chasing a Jeep, and it goes by really fast, and I didn't even know what I just saw.
Yeah.
So when I...
Uh-oh. I lost you again.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Let me know when I'm back.
Okay. All right, you're back.
Yeah. Yeah, I had no idea what I was about to watch. So that blew me away, Jurassic Park, seeing that in the theater.
Agreed.
But yeah, the carnage through the town, but at the same time, the crabs got to get lit. The crabs got to get lit. You know what I'm saying? Got to play some games, get drunk, have some pretzels, peanuts. Definitely was enjoying that Gremlins vibe, my friend. Now, this where they were creating the I was busting up with this because it was so the comedic parts were so all over the place and over the top that I was enjoying it. But was this a reference to anything?
No, not directly. The idea came from like old Nickelodeon commercials.
Yes, that's the vibe I got.
That was the thought process. But this was, I think the crew had thought at this point that I had lost my mind because we were filming that scene at like 3:00 in the morning, and there's no prep, like almost no prep for any of the. There's, I can't say no prep, but there was like we cleaned out this location, and I didn't know what we were gonna do to film this scene because it was supposed to be at this other location. And anyway, it's a long, complicated story. But basically, we get to the set, and the idea is to find things. It was a real shipbuilders, a ship mechanics barn. And so everything that's like in the cockpit at the end of the movie, we found on that set. And so I'm running around picking stuff up, being like, okay, well, why don't you say this here? And then let's say this now. But I knew that I knew that if we tried to make the audience genuinely think that these characters built a mecha robot in like 6 hours, that nobody was going to follow me to the end of the movie. They'd all be like, this is absurd. Like, you've jumped the shark too far. We're not going with you. And so I had this like, okay, we need to literally let the audience know that this is absurd to the point where we have to talk to the audience directly.
Gotcha.
And if we don't do that, there's a good chance that like no one's going to see through the rest of the movie with us. So I was like, okay, we got to do this and reference this, and it's going to be in a montage, so it's not going to matter and whatever.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure the crew was like, you've lost your mind. Like, this is never going to work. We don't know what, like, we thought this was one thing and now it's something else.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, we at least have to have the footage. Like, we'll decide in the edit, but let's at least get the footage. And I love it. To me, the like trying, like almost going Tim and Eric levels of ridiculous here
Yeah.
is the way that we get to the ending, because if we didn't have that, I genuinely think that like people would get to that point of the movie and be like, I'm out, I'm done. And so you just need to be like, okay, if you're on board with this, then everything else you're going to be totally game for.
Right, right. No, that thought process, your thought process totally makes sense. Especially like everybody get on board with the absurdity because we're cranking it up to 11.
And I tried to signpost like through the movie, like different levels of absurd I tried to continually ramp it up. But that was the point where enough people were like asking me, how are they building this overnight? Like, how is this supposed to work? We don't quite understand. That I'm like, it has to work because that's what the story does. like I need to get to the kaiju
Don't
fight.
ask questions.
Right. Yeah. Like don't think too hard about this.
You have crabs getting drunk and DJing. Stop asking questions.
Right. Yeah.
But no, that cracked me up. But yeah, I was getting that Nickelodeon vibe. But we got to get to the ending, man. The kaiju fight throwdown, which is what brought Samurai Guy to the dance, and really enjoyed it, man. Was this difficult to shoot the final showdown?
Shooting it itself wasn't terribly difficult, but figuring out how to do it was a nightmare because I really wanted to do it. I really wanted to film on a miniature set. I wanted to do it as traditionally like old school Godzilla as I possibly could. But when we started pricing that out, it was just too expensive. And so I then and my producers had never really done any visual effects like this. And so it was this total, we don't know how to do this, luck trying to figure it out kind of thing. And so and to add insult to injury, we had already shot the cockpit scene. So we shot all of the interiors of the main character at the wheel were already shot and finished. And so anything we did had to sort of work within that confine. So we had the suits and I came up with the idea, well, why don't we use a drone to film the backgrounds and we'll film it on a green screen and then we'll put the drone footage in the background and sort of layer it in order to get the miniature effect. And then I also wanted to, one of the things that like old Godzilla movies, they always move in real time. But what I learned from watching Pacific, and it never seemed strange to me, when I watched this, it just seemed like they're obviously guys in suits. But when I watched Pacific Rim, I noticed that depending on the distance from the camera, the creatures move at different speeds. So I wanted to, and that added to the sense of like size and weight of the creatures. So I wanted to take the techniques from Pacific Rim and do a traditional kaiju fight using some of those more modern techniques. So we filmed it at 300 frames per second in order to be able to like ramp the speed of the shots.
Okay.
But the problem with that is that when we got into post and we sent it to the team in Vietnam, it turns out that we didn't know what we were doing with our tracking markers. We put sand on the ground, and so every time they stomp, the sand blooms up, which then creates a nightmare to cut the green screen out of because it creates a terrible flicker effect with the sand in the green screen.
Right.
And our tracking markers were not done properly. And so every single frame had to be rotoscoped. So they cut out every character from every frame of the final fight scene.
Wow.
And then we had to retrack it in order to get some of the motion. So anytime the camera moves, we didn't have any tracking information. So we had to use like a complicated 3D tracking thing in order to track the creatures. But then some of the times we'd film one creature and then we'd film the other creature separately because we would, instead of having the cameras be like, the camera be like this, so that most of the information is on like the wide, there's more lines of resolution on a wide camera. We flip it like this so we get like the most amount of resolution for the creatures as possible. So then we're tracking two separate characters, but trying to make them move together as if it's one shot. So it was like, I mean, it literally took us 3 years just to do the visual effects for the final fight scene.
Wow.
And then we had multiple different artists starting and stopping the project because we got a good deal with this team in Vietnam, but there was no deadline on the contract, and they were using it as a way to train their artists. So we had one artist come on and do a whole bunch of work, and then they would move on to something else. And then a new artist would come on and not understand the work that had been done. And so they would need to start from scratch. So some of these shots have like 74 versions of each shot. And yeah, I mean, it's amazing. Like the fact that it works as well as it does is a complete and total miracle. Like the other thing was like there was one cinematographer who shot all the interior shots, and then we had another cinematographer shoot the green screen stuff, and then somebody else shot the drone footage. So even getting the color to line up between the background and the creature and then the interior of the cockpit was wild. And then like there's a shot at the end of the movie where it's the we called it the mecha anus, where the kid exits the shark at the end. There was no math done at all to line up like the angle of the camera, the height of the camera, the angle of the camera, and then because we shot, so it's the actual doors of that mecha anus were on a beach. And then we shot the guy in the suit on a green screen a year later with a different camera and a different cinematographer. And the fact that those two things actually lined up so that shot works is, again, just it's a miracle. I mean, it's amazing that any of that final fight scene works at all.
Wow. Well, hey, Samurai Guy approves. I approve the fight, man. That was badass.
Thank you.
Enjoyed it. And hilarious, because while you have all this carnage going on, you have Radu commentary on the side, rooting on our hero, saying hilarious things. I think he said something like, make him your best friend and then betray him, or something like that. Now was one of those outtakes left in when the older brother is there?
Yep.
Because he laughs a little bit. He's like, punch him in the no, punch him in the taint.
Punch him in the taint.
And he starts laughing. He's like, yeah, punch him in the taint. I love how you left that in still, with him breaking character and laughing. That's great.
I love stuff like that. Like, especially as somebody who I like being in on the film, and like my favorite clips from SNL are when the actors break character and they start laughing at their own jokes. Like there's
Carol Burnett. Carol Burnett moments. Yeah.
I like as an audience, especially a movie like this, like I like feeling a part of it, right? And so and for me, like the better take or the better reaction from an audience is way better than continuity. Like I honestly don't care all that much about continuity, partially because I like finding things that are not right in movies. Like in Ace Ventura 2, there's a chess table, and one shot there's a bunch of chess pieces on it, and the next shot there's no chess pieces. But it makes me just sort of like the movie a little bit more, because I see something in it that I think about every time. I'm like, oh, that's, I caught that, right? So there's a lot of that in the film. There's a lot of things that, like, if you watch it enough times, you're going to catch all these inconsistencies. But part of leaving that in was allowing for other inconsistencies in the film, because I'm like, okay, well, if you see that we're nodding and winking here, and all the times that it like wasn't actually a nod or a wink, but it was just, I prefer this take, even if it doesn't cut as well into the next one. That also felt like, okay, maybe we can get away with some of the cheaper elements in the edit, if we let you know, like, we get it too.
Yeah. Winking at the audience and having fun. That's what it's all about, is having fun. And going back to what you mentioned earlier, here's a good example, Star Wars, right? With the stormtrooper walking in, hitting his head on the door. I mean, it's hilarious. It's hilarious. And you wonder, like, how did that still make the final edit? But it's brilliant. We love stuff like that. But yeah, really enjoyed the kaiju fight. Really had a lot of fun with this movie, man. It checks all the boxes of what Samurai Guy likes. You know, gore,
Thank you.
horror, creature features, comedy, over the top zaniness, and you get a kaiju battle at the end. I mean, what else do you want? You know. But yeah, movie members of the Movie Dojo Army have been hitting me up, my friend, when they heard about our interview. Some of them are already buying the Blu-ray.
Oh yeah.
That's right. This is a picture from shout out to James. He sent that to me. He's like, I'm ahead of the game, man. I'm ahead of the game. But I wanted to point this out. So I put information in the description box below, guys, if you guys want to buy the Blu-ray straight from Raven Banner, but not just any Blu-ray. This awesome special edition, man. Look at the artwork for this baby. This is epic. This version apparently comes with a CD. Is this the soundtrack, Pierce?
Yep. So this is the Canadian disc that you can get right from Raven Banner. This one comes with like a soundtrack CD as well.
Yeah, that's awesome, and a unbelievable slipcover artwork there. So I put that in the description box below, guys. If you guys want to go straight to Raven Banner and pick it up,
We've also
Pierce.
got, here I can.
Oh, go ahead.
Let me. I'll plug this other one too. If you're in the U.S., this is the U.S. version, which also comes with the soundtrack, but it's a QR code. Which, if you're watching the stream, you can just get the QR code right there.
There you go, guys.
But it doesn't have a CD. It just it'll send you to the
we can download it.
Yeah, you can download the soundtrack. But this one's available on Amazon in the US. And this one,
Nice.
actually, Raven Banner is our Canadian distributor and our world sales agent. And then in the US, I self-distributed the movie.
Okay, nice. But yeah, the U.S. release is amazing too, man. I didn't know it had different artwork, so that's awesome.
Yep. Yes, there's a couple different versions out there.
Yeah, you got people in chat now. They're enjoying the artwork, man. They're like,
Sperm
hell
cells,
yeah.
That was it. Yep.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, man, I am so happy for you. I know this took a long time coming. But your creation is out and people are enjoying it and having a lot of fun. And that's what it's all about, my friend, is, doing what you do, my friend, and making people smile and laugh. And this is what it's all about. This shot right here. And this appeared at IMAX.
Yeah, that was wild. That was so crazy. That was our world premiere was in London, and we opened Fright Fest 2021. And on the IMAX screen at like the opening night, which was really wild. It was super cool.
That's amazing, man. That is amazing. But yeah, I am so happy for your success. And I'm, me and the Movie Dojo Army, we're looking forward to what you're doing next.
Thank you.
Any small spoilers or future tidbits of what is next for Mr. Pierce?
I'm writing a couple different movies at the moment.
Okay.
Mostly my time is still trying to get CRABS out into as many people's hands as possible. Because in order to get a second movie made, your first movie has to do decently well.
It's a business. Yeah.
But I would also love to make CRABS. I have ideas for a whole CRABS series. And if it does well, I'd love to do CRABS Attack, as would be CRABS 2, CRABS Revenge. Like I've got a whole and I'd love to make it like the Fast and the Furious took 8 movies to get to space, but they sort of up themselves in absurdity every single one.
Right.
I would love to use CRABS as sort of the platform to explore absurd movie concepts and take it where each one is just a little crazier than the last. Maybe even different genres. Like I have this idea for, it wouldn't be the next one, but maybe down the line would be like what happened to Radu between when you leave him in the middle of the movie of the first one and see him again at the end of the movie, and it would be like after hours, like a film noir after hours following Radu. So anyway, I've got a whole bunch of like CRABS universe stuff I'd love to do.
Oh, let's
go. Crabnado would be awesome. Also over with Sharknado, that'd be great.
Oh, I'm all for that. That sounds amazing. That's a great idea. Put some more little bit more sci-fi in there, maybe some fantasy.
Oh yeah.
Before we went live, and me and Pierce were chatting, and he's got a lot of fantasy books in the background there. Any fantasy genre ideas maybe in the future?
I am. Yeah, I have two. I'm writing one. I'm writing chapter. I've never written a novel before, so I'm writing chapters. I'm not going to say
All
I'm
right.
writing a novel, but I'm
Yeah,
writing
yeah,
something
yeah.
fantasy. And then I'm writing a fantasy script, like a dark fantasy,
Yes.
sort of a low budget 80s style dark fantasy movie that um I'd love to I love old Jim Henson stuff, and I'd love to
Yeah.
do something in that sort of vein, but rated R and like
Whoo!
John Wick meets Dark Crystal.
Oh my God. Did you guys hear that? Everybody watching John Wick meets Dark Crystal.
Yeah,
Sold. You actually had me at dark fantasy. You had
I
me
love
there. You didn't have to say anything more. But
I love.
oh
We just
yeah.
yeah, I agree. I agree. We don't get enough dark fantasy movies.
No, we don't. We don't. Have you seen the movie Solomon Kane?
Yes, I have. I like that one.
Dude,
I haven't seen that in a long time, but it was good.
that's a little hidden gem right there. But yeah, I am all for future Crabs sequels. That's right. Go to Crab 10. That's right. Crabs 10 all the way to Samurai Guy will be there, munching on the popcorn, having fun
Nice.
watching it. But especially your other projects that you have, we highly await, my friend. We highly await for those to eventually come out in the future. You have Samurai Guy support, my friend. That's
Thank
right.
you.
And the Movie Dojo Army. Thanks again for hanging out on the channel. Sorry for the glitches, but it's when you're live, that's how we roll. But me and Pierce are professionals. As we just kept rocking and rolling, man. That's how we do it. That's how we do it. But thanks everybody for watching. You can follow, I put a link in the description box below where you can follow Pierce. That's right. You can follow him on Instagram. Buy the Crabs Blu-ray. And don't forget to also go to Amazon so you can get it there as well. Pierce, like we tell all our guests here, this is your second home, baby. That's right.
Thank you
Your
so
second
much.
home. Come back anytime. You're always welcome, my friend. And maybe we can review Eight-Legged Freaks, man. Let's go.
Oh, I'd be
Let's
so
do,
down.
let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Eight-Legged Freaks, baby. Before we wrap it up for the day, is there anything you'd like to say to your supporters?
Yeah, just thank you to anybody who's seen the movie or wants to see the movie. It's out everywhere. If you want to just rent it, that's awesome. And if you want the whole big package, the Blu-ray on Amazon, the US version, I sort of had control over all of it, and so it's exactly the Blu-ray that I would want. There's tons of behind-the-scenes stuff. We've got like storyboard animatics. There's 3 different commentaries, including one with Radu. He does a commentary of the whole movie in character,
What?
which is amazing. It's funnier than the movie. I mean, it's great. It's awesome.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's awesome. And then we've got bloopers, deleted scenes. We've got like an hour of straight uncut behind the scenes footage. I mean, it's edited so that it's interesting, but there's no like commentary over it or anything. It's just like, this is what it's like to shoot a movie. But yeah, the Blu-ray's packed, so check out the Blu-ray.
Oh, that's awesome. Definitely going to have to check it out for sure. Especially for the Radu commentary, which I did not know was a thing, which is hilarious.
It's such a thing that I put it as like where is it? I'm covering it.
There you go. Oh, there you go. You highlighted it. Nice.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure that people knew about that.
Hit him in the taint. Yeah, it's hilarious. It's just too much fun. And that's what movies are all about. Thank you, Pierce. Don't go anywhere, Pierce, but you guys, thank you for watching. That's right. Keep supporting independent cinema. That's right. Keep supporting the horror genre, creature features, action, martial arts, all the things that we love here on the channel, baby. And if you're new here, hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the old Samurai Guy. And don't forget, this Sunday, the next episode, join me and the cast and the director of Combat Zone. That's right. We will be showing their short film, Martial Arts Fights and Stunts and Badassity, this Sunday. That's right, at 11 a.m. Pacific. So join Samurai Guy this Sunday. We're going to show the short film, have a little reaction, a little live Q&A, and having a good time, which is what we do here on the channel. I'll see you guys there. Thanks for watching. That's right. See you on the next one. It's
Thanks so much.
crabs.